Over 4.5 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered in Canada so far. The locations range from mass vaccination centres to community pharmacies. Loblaw and Shoppers Drug Mart pharmacies are part of the immunization effort. They're providing COVID-19 vaccines in 7 provinces so far: Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI. Jeff Leger is the president of Shoppers Drug Mart. He joins me now. Hi, Mr. Leger. Good to meet you, and thanks for making time for our program tonight.
Well, thanks for having me. Nice to meet you.
From your perspective, how big of a role can pharmacies be playing, or should pharmacies be playing in the rollout of vaccines in this country?
Well, I think it's a critical role. There's an enormous capacity in pharmacies across the country. All 10,000 plus pharmacies were engaged in vaccinating. We think the capacity is about 3 million vaccines per week, and 85% of Canadians would live within 10 minutes of a pharmacy. So very convenient, late hours of operation, and just an easy way to kind of to get things going. We've actually started 3 weeks ago with our pharmacies in Alberta, and it's been going very well. They've been injecting with the Pfizer vaccine. And in fact, Alberta was the first to accelerate the rollout to pharmacies. And because of that, we believe that they've been able to be one of the first ones to quickly lower the cohort age of people that are eligible for the vaccine. And we see great momentum happening on that front.
When you lay out what the capacity is, that is huge. When you compare that capacity, and obviously supply impacts the reality of it, but when you compare the capacity to what your pharmacies are doing now, where is there a big discrepancy?
So we've done about 130,000. You mentioned all the provinces. There's 7 provinces that are vaccinating along with Alberta. Some have, fully embraced pharmacy. So New Brunswick is one that's already accelerated to all pharmacies in New Brunswick, and many others have a specific plan to continue to roll out. Like Ontario is going to be doubling the number of pharmacies participating. So as I said, we've done about 130,000 at the moment. The full capacity of pharmacies is in the range of about 3 million a week. So we have a long ways to go. As you mentioned, it is dependent on vaccine availability, but as more comes on board, pharmacies are capable of injecting AstraZeneca, the Pfizer, or the Moderna. There's full capabilities, and we've had really great success with big immunization campaigns like the past flu vaccination program, where when we look at our pharmacies just in our network, we would have done over 2 million flu vaccines in a number of weeks. So there is a really important capacity there that I know the provinces want to leverage, and I know our pharmacists are very excited about participating.
When you say some provinces have fully embraced, do you mean by that using a variety of different types of vaccines, or just more pharmacies being utilized? Like, what does fully embraced look like to you?
So it's both. So if you look at a couple of provinces, they're using Pfizer, Moderna, or AstraZeneca in pharmacy, and pharmacies can handle all 3. And then also some provinces have already deployed all pharmacies in the province, like New Brunswick, I think there's over 200 pharmacies in New Brunswick. All have been enlisted to participate. And our view is that the majority of provinces will do that. They'll continue to look at delivering vaccines in the community where it's easy to do and very convenient for Canadians. And they can do that by harnessing over 10,000 pharmacies in Canada.
What are the lines of communication like? And I'm guessing this is probably dependent on the province. I'll just briefly tell you and our viewers a quick experience that I think I had that many of them probably had. Over the weekend or Friday we heard, okay, in Ontario, AstraZeneca is going to be given now at pharmacies, and they expanded the age group. It's over 60. I'm like, oh my God, my dad's in that age group. I started Googling right away, spent Saturday calling every pharmacy open at that time. And one of the first calls I made, the pharmacist answered and said, oh my gosh, I just found this out. It was very candid, and so happy to be part of the program, but felt as though they told me they found out when the announcement was made, for example, that the age requirements were expanding and that they didn't have the supply yet. They didn't know for exactly when the supply and they were fielding all these calls. Like it was a difficult balancing act for them. Can you shed any light on if those processes have been approved, if the government is in more direct contact with pharmacies in advance of making their announcements? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think the governments are doing the best that they can do. They're sharing information as quickly as they get it, and they're obviously dealing with different changes to vaccine delivery schedules, which, as we all know, have been kind of fluid over the last couple of weeks, and are getting more stable. So that's good. So a lot of pharmacies, including ours, are preparing in advance. And I think in the first couple of days of when you expand or when you expand the cohort, I think pharmacists are going to have to be able to navigate that. We've put tools in place. We just launched our website today and our app called PC Health for Ontarians and also Manitobans, where people can register. We'll make it a little bit easier as opposed to calling around like you had to do. So we're excited about having that on shoppersdrugmart.ca and also our PC Health app. And I think many other pharmacies are going to be using the same type of technology to kind of to balance out those communication channels and make it easier to know where that is.
And you were saying that app is launching in it's just a few provinces right now, or will it eventually be kind of countrywide for shoppers?
Yeah, so our app is already countrywide. Okay. It's called PC Health, and for the booking or the registration for vaccines, it is live in Ontario as of Tuesday. It's live in Manitoba as today, and we have Alberta launching tomorrow. And we'll continue to launch it across the country. Our website is always obviously also a really great place to get information about testing, about vaccines, about vaccine hesitancy, and about where to access it through the booking tool.
Okay, good to know. Mr. Leger, I'll leave it there. Thanks very much for making the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Jeff Leger is the president of Shoppers Drug Mart. Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.